Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Urban Review, presented by the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development. And I'm your host, Marcel Arbuckle, the Executive Director and founder of the Center. As you know, the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development is an organization that is dedicated to working with youth that are in and transitioning out of the foster care system. And we focus on their needs, trying to provide training in the areas of character or manhood and womanhood, education, perseverance, uplift of your fellow man, and taking those four character traits and multiplying them times friendship, love, and truth to get the three things that everybody wants out of life: peace, happiness, and prosperity. We know that working with these young people, it gives us an opportunity to give back and be a part of our own personal experience. As most of you know, I am a person who was abandoned at age 2 and raised in the foster care system, and I'm very fortunate that I am part of that 2% of individuals that age out of the system that have an opportunity to go ahead and graduate from college and live a positive and productive life. But most of the time, 65% of the young men that age out of the system transition into the prison system, and 45% of the young women transition into prostitution, homelessness, and substance abuse. So the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development is an organization that's dedicated to helping young people navigate life one step at a time. And today we're here recognizing the season and the Thanksgiving holiday, and just wanted to spend a little time talking about the things that we're personally grateful for. Myself, I'm very thankful for my family, my beautiful wife Barbara, my son Marcel Jr., and my daughter Jamila, and our grandchildren Rodney, Rodney, Noah, and Jonah, and my son-in-law Theodore. And I'm also happy for my wonderful sister, who I didn't have an opportunity to meet until I was 27 years old because of our situation in foster care. But I'll send a shout out to my sister Royletta and to my brothers Michael and Montclair as well. And everything that I've just talked about is in my book, I Have a Story to Tell, and you can pick it up here at WHPR Studios in their gift shop at 160 Victor Street here in Highland Park. And we would appreciate it if you'd stop by and just let them know that you're seeing the show and you'd like a copy of the book. Once again, it's entitled I Have a Story to Tell. Two people that I'm really grateful for are my foster parents, Walter and Rosie Yerby. They were wonderful people that took us in, and they helped to teach me those characteristics of manhood and perseverance, for stressing education and helping me to understand that you have to lift while you climb and uplift your fellow man. And I can't help but remember a story when I was just about 6 years old. My foster parents were people that didn't have a lot of education. In fact, between the two of them, they only had a third-grade education. And my foster dad was an individual that drove a forklift driver at his job at Universal Atlas Cement Company. And it turned out that the company got some new equipment, and they had the instructions for how to operate the equipment plastered to the dashboard of the forklift. However, because Walter Yerby couldn't read, he was in a disadvantaged situation, and his counterparts didn't want to share the information because they were hoping that he would lose his job so that one of their friends or relatives could take the job. And he came home that night, and he was telling our foster mom, his wife Rosie, about it, and he was very distressed. And they didn't know exactly what they were going to do. But the next day, he got up and he went to work. And then that night when he came home very excited, and he pulled out a big, large sheet of paper. And he told his wife and my foster mother that, you know, I can't read and write, but I can draw. And what I did was I sat down and I drew all of the figures that were on that on that dashboard, and now you can read them to me. And that's exactly what she did. She gave him the instructions on how to operate the forklift, and he was able to go back to work and thrive and continue to do his job. But that example of not giving up, of sitting down and not stressing out, but figuring out a method to work it out is something that I've taken for the rest of my life, and it's part of the perseverance and resilience that's in me of how you face a challenge when you meet up against one. As I indicated earlier, I'm very thankful for the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development and having an opportunity to give back and to create our semi-independent living and learning facility. And we have a special guest here today, one of the newest residents of our living and learning facility, Mr. Robert Cunningham. So welcome to the show, Robert. We're happy to have you. And Robert is, as I indicated, one of our most recent residents. So Robert, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for the introduction. Yes, as Mr. Arbuckle said, my name is Robert Cunningham. I'm an 18-year-old youth. I've been in the foster system from about the age of 2 to current age. When I was 2 years old, I was put into the system because my parents were very drug addicted and had lots of ties with crime.
Okay.
This had put me in a bad environment and at a disadvantage, leading me into the system. I was in the system. I've been in the system, bouncing around from foster home to foster home.
Wow.
Residential to residential, juvenile to juvenile. When I was about 10 years old, my mother passed away while my father was incarcerated.
Wow.
That took a very big toll on me, and
I can imagine.
Involved a lot of the bouncing around. Now I am here. I am in Detroit, a new member of the Urban Youth and
Family Development.
And I'm very thankful for Mr. Arbuckle and his teachings and him trying to help me get my life back on track and getting graduated from high school as well as moving forward to college and having me set goals. I'm very appreciative for him as well as the Center for Urban.
Well, thank you, Robert. We're happy to have you. We look forward to continue to work with you and help you to develop the cultural and personal identity that you need to get the life skills and the education that will take you forward, to help you develop your personal finances and to get some employment, to take care of your housing needs, and to provide some supportive relationships and some community connection for you. And also to be concerned about your physical and mental health, and last but most importantly, to try and help you feel resilient so that you might have an opportunity to reunify with your biological family and to move forward with your life and to have a happy, productive, and filled life. So we look forward to working with you. It's really exciting to have an opportunity to work with individuals like yourself and to meet the challenges that come with life. You know, we are very thankful at the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development for having an opportunity to develop some outstanding, phenomenal collaborations. We've been able to work with the City of Detroit and its Grow Detroit Young Talent Program. We've been able to collaborate with Serve Metro. We've also collaborated with Indiana University, Michigan State University, Central Michigan University, Wayne State University, and most importantly, we've been able to collaborate with the Houses of Faith, with the Faith Communities Coalition on Foster Care, and our most important collaboration is with the Hartford Memorial Baptist Church. We also work with the Detroit Wayne Mental Health Authority, which is one of our key funders, as well as the National Council on Alcohol and Drug Dependency of Greater Detroit, which functions as our fiduciary. We are very pleased this afternoon to have an opportunity to meet one of our key collaborators, and that is the Reverend Charles Christian Adams of the Hartford Memorial Baptist Church. So we'll be right back shortly, and we'll have an opportunity to meet with and talk with Reverend Adams. And until then, hang in there and don't eat too much turkey.
You will love your Avis Ford, because at Avis Ford, we make it easy to get you your no money down monthly payment right over the phone. We call it Shop by Phone, and it's the best way we know to get you your payment options fast. You want leather and a sunroof? How about an upgrade to all-wheel drive? Just give us a call. Shop online, shop by phone, or visit us at Telegraph at 12 Mile. Call 1-800-SHOP-FORD.
Welcome back, and as always, we're happy to have you here with Urban Review, and I'm your host, Marcel Arbuckle, and we have a special guest with us today, one of our key collaborators and the actual organization that served as an incubator for the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development, and that is the Reverend Charles Christian Adams here from the Hartford Memorial Baptist Church. So welcome to Urban Review, Reverend Adams.
I'm honored to be here, not only with you and for this great cause, but here in this studio, which is the living legacy and testament to black ingenuity and greatness and excellence that we have had in this city for many years. What a blessing it is.
That's absolutely right. In fact, while we were off the air, we were just chatting about the scene that R.J. Watkins
show.
That's
and
right.
Nat Morris and the scene. I was a scene dancer. I was only on 3 shows, but I was sharp, and I got picked on Jefferson Avenue, and the rest is history.
That's phenomenal. That I can remember driving down Jefferson and seeing the young people out front in anticipation for being selected for the show. But here we are today, and we're here very pleased that we've been able to form our collaboration. And on the last show with our guest, I gave a little secret about each guest, and I give a little secret about you, and that is that you and I are fraternity brothers. We're
That's right.
members of the Grand United Order of Odd Fellows, and also your father and I are fraternity brothers. We're both members of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And we are so thankful and grateful for the opportunity to work with Hartford to develop the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development. And can you give us a little background on what motivated you to want to launch a foster care ministry and work with us?
Well, certainly you were a big part of that inspiration, because when I saw that, you had taken your excellence and from all that you had gleaned from your life experience in foster care, as well as at Ford Motor Company, and you used that to create this instrument that helped other children who were going through that same plight that you went through. I said, this is something I got to get behind. I believe that you are our Moses. Moses went to Egypt and was educated, and then he used that education to set his people free.
Yes.
You went to Indiana University. You were educated. Then you used that education to set us free and to help these young people who were bound in the system. And here's the deal, and here's another reason. It's costing us money to do nothing.
Absolutely.
Of 26,000 children who age out of the foster care system, you have all kind of costs related to that. Perhaps jail, perhaps public assistance, perhaps all kind of community costs
Yes.
that are related to that, and it can cost upwards, per 26,000 children, it can cost upwards to $7.8 billion for us to do nothing. And it is just immoral to simply let young people age out of this system and act like we've done all that we can to help them. It's not their fault that they were put into that position. And it is not our fault either, but it is our responsibility to do something to help them.
Absolutely right. And along with that responsibility comes on a level of accountability. And we all are accountable for the situations that have occurred and the results that come when, as you say, we do nothing. I know that working with us, you have given us an opportunity to provide housing and support and help for these young people. But we know that Hartford has a history and a tradition of providing outreach to the community. Can you just tell us a little bit about some of the services and programs and other ministries that happen at Hartford? I know that we start with our Hunger Task Force.
Well, right now, you're one of our own. You are a trustee at Hartford Memorial Baptist Church, so really we had no choice but to help him. He controls the money at Hartford now. You know, that'd be a bad business decision, let alone spiritual. Not to back up, but no, but and realistically, this is a part of our theology, a part of our ethos. We just developed a $16.5 million senior center on Myers and Curtis. We also have done millions of dollars in economic development. We developed the Super Kmart, which became the Home Depot. We developed the Checkers Hamburgers site. We developed McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Long John Silver's, the Davis Brothers Automotive places on our property, and we are as quiet as it's kept. You heard it here first. We are trying to develop a credit union on one of our properties. We have a belief at Hartford, everybody may not belong to Hartford, but Hartford belongs to everybody.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. We appreciate the community outreach and also having an opportunity to be a part of working with Hartford. I as a trustee, was on the committee that and the team that started off with the senior center, and we went through various iterations and looking at various properties before we were able to get all of that worked out. But that has been a tremendous impact on the community, not only economically as far as providing the jobs when the construction was being done, but now to provide housing for our seniors in a safe and secure environment that is aesthetically pleasing is outstanding. And that's the same thing that really happened for the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development. We had an opportunity to work with Deacon Williams from Liberty Bank and use our collaboration with them to actually secure our property on Indiana, and then working with Maxwell House Coffee and Indiana University, we were able to get the funding to do the rehab, and then working with the church and having members of the church on our board of directors and as part of our staff has really been a tremendous help to getting us where we need to be. And we know that a lot of the children that we work with have a lot of issues. You know, there's a thing now called acute childhood experiences, or ACEs. And we think about the fact that a lot of the young people that we interface with are, excuse the pun, but they're dealt their first ace, as Robert said, when he was 2 years old. And can you just give us a little bit of impact on how your ministry and the Ministry of Hartford is reaching out to young people and spreading across the city of Detroit?
Yeah, no, we take youth ministry very seriously. And, you know, a lot of churches do things for little kids, but we feel like we have an obligation to do something for the older young people as well. These aren't children.
Right.
And a lot of those economic development projects are exactly for them. You know, they need jobs. A whole lot of young people, they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to commit crimes. They don't want to do, if they have an alternative to selling drugs, if they have an alternative from doing things that are antisocial, they're going to do them. And that's what those jobs for. But we also have comprehensive care, counseling, we have guidance. We have a trade school, which is now located at Hartford Church, as well as scholarship programs, because the vast majority of kids that age out of the foster care system don't get to go to college.
That's right.
So I think it's like 4% of children that age out go on to earn four-year college degrees,
Right.
but the rest of the country is about 36%. It's appalling at any
Absolutely.
level. But you're telling me, in essence, that if I'm in the foster care system and I age out, essentially, I'm not going to college.
Right.
Because how many of us are part of the 96th percentile?
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
You know, it's not going to happen for them. We have the resources. We take seriously the charge. We want to provide them what they need to go. So programs like yours are going to give them the stability to be academically successful once they are enrolled.
Right, and we are just so pleased and happy to have an opportunity to work with Hartford. We look forward to a long and continued relationship.
Yeah.
Thank you
that
so
young man
much.
who was on the show, he's going to college. I'm telling you right now, and when you get ready to go, we got some money for you, my brother. We're going to make sure you get there.
All right. So this is our Thanksgiving show, and we're very thankful to have this relationship. So we'll be right back with our entertainment segment of the show. But thank you so much.
Sugar, sugar, salt is salt. If you didn't get off, it's not our fault.
That's right. Do you remember that from the scene? Thank you.
You will love your Avis Ford because at Avis Ford, we make it easy to get you your no money down monthly payment right over the phone. We call it Shop by Phone, and it's the best way we know to get you your payment options fast. You want leather and a sunroof? How about an upgrade to all-wheel drive? Just give us a call. Shop online, shop by phone, or visit us at Telegraph at 12 Mile. Call 1-800-SHOP-FORD.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching Urban Review at this Thanksgiving time. We know that there are some folks here in the city of Detroit that are facing a hunger issue, and if you are looking for an opportunity to have a Thanksgiving dinner, contact the Brightmoor Pantry. You can call 313-740-7688. Once again, that's 313-740-7688 for some assistance. And as usual, we are going to have a little bit of entertainment, and we thought that it would be appropriate, since we're giving thanks today, to have our entertainment be Mr. Walter Hawkins performing "Thank You, Lord, for All You've Done for Me." So we're going to bring in just a little taste of Walter Hawkins' "Thank You, Lord, for all you've done for me." That was wonderful. Mr. Walter Hawkins doing "Thank You, Lord, for all you've done for me." And I just want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me and giving me the opportunity to have a chance to give back to the community and to have the resilience and the power and the strength to continue to working on. Think of the poem that Mr. Nelson Mandela used to say to himself during each night during the 27 years that he was incarcerated that gave him the strength to carry on, and that is, out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods there be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud, and under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the minutes of the years finds and shall find me unafraid, for it matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the captain of my fate and the master of my soul. I'm so happy that I had an opportunity to be raised by Mr. Walter and Rosie Yerby and to be raised in their foster home, and for them to teach me to be somebody, because I learned that somebody is the person that does what anybody could do, but nobody's doing it because everybody knows that somebody's going to do it, and I am somebody. I didn't learn that I was really somebody until my foster mother passed away, and somebody had to come home and put together the arrangements for her memorial service, and I am somebody. Somebody had to call the mortuary and say, hey, we want you to bury our mother, and I am somebody. Somebody had to go to the mortuary and pick out the coffin, and I am somebody. Somebody had to call the hairdresser and say, will you come do mom's hair for the funeral, and I am somebody. Somebody had to go by the printer and do the eulogy and print out the program, and I am somebody. Somebody had to call the church and ask the minister, will you preach my mother's funeral, and I am somebody. Somebody is the person that does what anybody could do, but nobody's doing it because everybody knows that somebody's going to do it, and somebody has to work with youth in foster care. Somebody has to reach out to the young people that are transitioning out of the system and provide them with love, caring, peace, happiness, and prosperity, and the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development is dedicated to doing that, helping youth one step at a time. So we'll see you next month on December the 14th for our next show at 3:30 p.m. on Thursday, December the 14th, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.